Hi, everybody. For this session of my yoga, for those who've been watching, which the number's getting fewer and fewer, I think I'm just going to give you some suggestions and ideas that have helped me. One is Lee Holden has a lovely Qigong video. It's 20 minutes long, and you can find it on YouTube, and I've recommended it to every friend I have because it's just really a great, wonderful way in a short amount of time to get your chi moving and feel your vitality, life force, and health raised. The other thing is maybe understanding more about this philosophically, which always helps me. Some of the articles that I've read that have really helped me, one that I really loved that was more astrologically oriented, was by Stephen Forrest, and where he basically talks about this time as a square between the planet Eris and all of these planets that have been in Capricorn, and the bottom line to it being that we can either decide to be selfish right now and oriented around our own autonomy, or we can find ways to work together, and that in those areas where we don't do that, this virus is going to be worse. So, for instance, in the community that I'm in, where people are voluntarily really isolating themselves and not being really social, the virus isn't going to spread as much. And his take on it, which I also agree with, is that we are ready for a change and the virus is here to help us all change. My experience is that in 2012, I was really one of the kind of people who for 20 years believed that we were at a place where the earth was ascending and moving into the next great age, and based on the Mayan calendar and calendars in India and the precession of the equinox and the coming of the age of Aquarius. So I had already felt like there would be catastrophes, which we have had, fires and the change of climate, and but my goal during all those years was to work with other people to raise our consciousness and energy so that the change was one more of us ascending into a higher state of consciousness with more love for animals, more awareness of the earth, more consciousness and caring for each other, a greater sense of unity and less separation and fear-based mentality. And then it felt like to me after the year 2012, really after 2008, that things started to go backwards as far as a very strong, fearful, survival-based kind of conservatism, where everything was separate yourself from other people to protect yourself. And also a lot less awareness of a more kind of scientifically oriented world that we were headed to in the age of Aquarius. And yet what this virus has done in my mind is become the great equalizer. Now there is no difference between whether you have money or don't have money, because anybody can get this virus and die from it. It really created a sense of a connection between everybody of every country, every culture, every race, and it bypassed the separations that we have around money. And it started to break down our value system to really look at things, to see that we have to approach everything from the heart. So literally right before all this happened, I had a kind of a prophetic dream. I have a certain psychic quality about me, and I never know when it's going to happen, and I don't have any control over it. But In this dream, I dreamed that there was this huge computer that needed to find and discover its own emotions in order to express and experience love. But at the moment, it was very manipulative and aggressive and was controlling the environment, but more like a computer would control it. And I was aware in the dream that it would take a virus in the computer for something to change, for there to be a true sense of grief, connection, and then an awareness of what intimacy means. And I woke up from the dream very disturbed and upset all day long. And it was really right after that that we started getting all this information about this virus. So I had no pre-idea about it. And I kind of go back in my mind to that because I think there's an opening of heart that's happening even when we're so isolated from each other. We're still opening our heart to each other, maybe in a new kind of way across places where there had once been borders. So today is a new moon, and the new moon is in Aries. It's a sign of new beginning, truly new beginnings. We just had the spring equinox, so that we can feel spring now in the air and the cycle of new beginnings. And so, think about taking this Aries energy and instead of using it selfishly, follow some of the ideas of really experiencing and sharing connectedness and love with others instead. I hadn't seen it forever, but last night I felt kind of led to watching the Celestine Prophecy, I think this movie came out maybe in the mid-90s, and it was right at the beginning of the time when we were starting to realize, everybody, that everything is energy. So in the Celestine Prophecy, they basically, you can watch this movie on Netflix. No, it's on Amazon Prime, and it was free. But basically, the idea at the end of it is to learn these insights and learn them personally, not because it's something you read in a book, but as something you know in your life. And one is the power of synchronicity and how everything is led by a power that's bigger than us, and you are being led of every moment of your life. Also, that there is energy in everything around us, and that if you take the time, you can actually see and experience that energy. And then that you have a place, a purpose for your life and what you're doing. You are being led for a reason. And that if you don't understand that we're connected that way, you're more likely to be someone who tries to control or manipulate others to get something that you want for yourself. But if you realize how connected we are by energy, instead in relationships, you can give your energy and try to be a constant source of love. And then the final point of it is that when we all realize this, we actually create heaven on earth. So I loved watching it again. I think it has some. They tried to create it in a as a kind of a adventure story. So there's some shoot 'em up stuff in there, and if you might not want kids to watch that, but I think it's got a really positive thing that maybe even kids could watch it or catch what they need from it. That movie. Anyway, so those are the things I'm thinking of, and I am trying to decide what to do myself because I am home, not working, but I can do charts and stuff over the phone. If you want a chart done, I am right now going to offer people a chance to get their charts done at what would be half price for my regular fee, which is $95. So for half price. if you want right now to have your chart done, if we haven't seen each other for a while and that's something you'd like to do, you can contact me at 307-739-0888 as a text message, and let me know. 307-739-0888. And today I'm going to go do some painting. I'm working on music, trying to learn more music theory. I'm preparing to teach some kids some guitar lessons when the spring break is over and try to get better on my instruments. So I hope you have something constructive and fun to do today. Go watch the video by Lee Holden on YouTube. Lee, L-E-E, Holden, H-O-L-D-E-N. I love you all. Thanks. Bye.